Hi, it's Tori Haggerty with Tuscan Club University's Fair Lending School, and in this Fair Lending Short, I want to talk to you about your annual Fair Lending training specific to your lending staff. Now, one of the reasons why I created my Fair Lending School is because I looked around the industry and most Fair Lending training was the definition of discrimination, the prohibited basis, and a couple examples of some other organizations that screwed up. That's not really helpful when it comes to lenders on doing their jobs. So what I recommend is when you are training your lenders, at a minimum, what you're going to want to cover in the training is those areas that we talked about, yes, but train them on policies and procedures. I always say that setting up strong policies and procedures is the best way to start building a fair lending program. And by that, I mean clear and concise underwriting standards. You need this credit score. You need this loan to value. You need this debt to income. Setting that policy is the best way to start building a program. But then actually following that policy and training people to follow that policy is the next step, because having a beautiful policy, if you think such things are beautiful, and as a fair lending guy, I do, but having a beautiful policy is only effective if people actually know about it and if they're actually following it. So when it comes to your annual fair lending training, cover some of the basics. Cover the application process. Cover your loan products and steering risk. Cover the basics of underwriting. Cover the denial process. Hey, when you have an adverse action notice, here's how we review it. Cover the pricing and rate sheet process. And guess what? Cover the exception process, right? Remember, exceptions should be just that, the exception. They shouldn't happen often, but you should have an approval process for those exceptions, and every lender should know what that process is. So if you do nothing else on your annual fair lending training, at least cover what your policies and procedures are at your organization. I get it. Some lenders have been there for a long time. Oh yeah, I know how to do my job. But I do fair lending interviews all the time with lenders that have been around for 20 years, and I ask them simple questions on policies and procedures, and you would be surprised at how often they don't know the basics. Don't take that for granted. Train them on the basics and do it on an annual basis. Thanks for joining us.